Testing. This is Devin with Writing Daily. Every day, as you know, we talk about different aspects of writing that will help you become a better writer, sell more books, market yourself better, promote yourself, and all kinds of ways to just kind of get out there and do the stuff. Because there really is kind of multiple things that are going on to be a successful writer. One is you're going to sit in a room by yourself and type like a crazy person. And other times it's going to be about getting yourself and your book out there because there's a lot of competition. And if you're not working it, somebody else is. So I'm your host, Devin Galaudet, and I'm the editor-in-chief of In the Know Traveler. And I'm also the, what do you call it? I am that guy. I am the author of 10,000 Miles from My Dead Father's Ashes, due out in September. So what did I do the last several days? If you've been keeping up with me, you probably note that I was at an event. Basically, the event was about meeting one-on-one with successful podcasters. In other words, people who already have developed followings and audiences. And the idea is if you have something to sell and of something of value to say and you connect with the podcasters, you will have an opportunity to appear on their shows. And they, I'm sure every single podcaster has, it's just like anything else. They probably have their own rules. And I've already done a number of podcasts in my life already, but this is where they were all sort of like under one roof, and the whole point was to pitch. And so yesterday I talked about how I specifically had to cast a wide net to appeal, to open the door to as many people in the room as possible. There's really only, I think the way it was working is that there was 40 podcasters who are already very, very well established, already have large followings and audiences. And then there was about 150 other people, and many of those people had developed followings as well, just maybe not as big as sort of like, the main people there. But so the presentation I made was in front of about 150, 175 people, something like that. And it was a 2-minute pitch. And, truthfully, if it was more of a speed dating format, or if I had met one of these people on the street, I probably would have just, tried to specifically detail what I was saying to them that was about their show and the exact kind of things I could do to help their show and their program reach and offer value to their people, right? So, but I had to go, what I had to do is I had to go wide. And then what I did is that anytime there was a break, I would go chase one of those people. Like, as an example, I was given this book. And in the book, there is a whole bunch of, here's the details on these people, their contact information, news about their show, etc. And so what I did is I had already gone through it. And I had a pretty good idea of who were the people that I thought were a good fit for me. But at the same time, I want to leave the door open to somebody else who might say, hey, I can use this guy in this particular capacity, right? And so after I made my pitch, there was an envelope with my picture on it, right? There's my mug on a Polaroid plus my name. And then what happened is that anybody who thought, I was doing something reasonable would put a little note and either invite me to the show or say something to the effect of, hey, it was great to see you, good luck, or something like that. So I'll be honest with you. Here's the cards that I got. So the vast majority of them were actually straight up invites. Like, here is an example. Devin, hilarious. Yes, want to be on my show. Every day is a new day. And there's some contacts information on the back. I hope I didn't show that too much. But so the point is that it was a pretty, fruitful thing. And then, for the people that I didn't necessarily get a card from, I got a lot of, I then at the end of it, I just went up to the people I didn't hear from. So there's probably, of this 3-day event, I probably got, like, I would say, and these are all like legitimate invites to be on shows. I don't have to leave my home. I probably don't have to, even wash my face. It'll be like more of a radio kind of podcast. I probably got in the neighborhood of about 25, 28 invites, which, to be quite honest with you, if they pan out, it's a totally great deal. It's a totally great deal. Some of these people were really, were absolutely into my story about my father, which is terrific. And as you can tell, I'm tired. I am totally tired and beat up. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, and it's kind of been go for the last 3 days. So would I recommend this kind of a format to help you for other people who are looking to do the same? Yeah, I think I would probably explore it. Is it money? Yes, it does. I think what I did is I think the actual tickets, because I think I bought them like early bird, was like $1,000, right? But they do giveaways, and there's other kinds of promotional things that you can do. And then you're in a room full of people who are actually really into your story. I think every single human being in the building made some new contacts. And I got one of these. I made this up, but printing them up to have them in flyers, it's basically a one sheet. It talks about the kinds of things on here. I don't know, it's not going to focus in real well, but it gives you the kinds of things that I can talk about. It gives a little bit of biography and detail about me. And I probably end up giving out, it looks like to be about 3/4 of them. So somebody took them home. So even if I didn't get a card and sort of like requests on the spot, I did get I get to give them these kinds of things to take home with them. I hope this is all making sense. I feel like I'm just kind of like nutty right now. I think I'm just exhausted of talking and pitching myself. And I did all kinds of bizarre things. Let me see if I can find this one thing. So I was sitting at a table with one of these main folks, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like, somebody else was speaking at a microphone, and I didn't want to interrupt this person. So what I did was I ended up folding up this card, and inside the card, I wrote, I'm going to cover her name, but I wrote, "Hi, I talked about what I do, and I said, if you like what I'm doing, check this box." I don't know if that is really what an adult person does to kind of like chum the waters for relationships, but it was a starting point. So I folded it up. I put it like this was a 7th grade note in 1979, and I threw it at her. And so she did check the box. I still don't know if I'm going to be on her show, but she's open to the discussion. And so the trick here is that I had to kind of go out of my comfort zone and introduce myself to a lot of people I've never met before. And I think it was a really worthwhile experience. I think if I end up appearing on half of the shows that I've been invited to appear on, I scored. Like, this was, probably a fantastic opportunity. And for the money, there was lots of good information. I made lots of great contacts. And, even the people who didn't invite me to be on the show, the deal's not over with. I have their contact information. I can reach out to them, and then I can craft a pitch that would make sense. It would be kind of like saying, if I was on, as an example, going on Good Morning America, I think the average is I'd get about 400 to 500 book sales. That's kind of an average thing that would come from a show like that. And that's national television. Going on a podcast, the actual likelihood is much higher because the whole environment between television and podcasting has changed. The people who have big audiences have a much higher degree. Like me appearing on a show actually is sort of giving me a very high credential ranking with the host who's having me. So is this going to translate into sales? From what I'm understanding, the answer is absolutely. And I was probably the only kind of literary person in this universe, but I also spoke to the organizer, a guy named Steve Ulsher, and I'm really going to try and have him on this show at some point, so he can really start breaking down the kinds of things that I'm telling you now. But it was everybody. I mean, it was authors of how-to books. I was probably the only literary person in the room, but it was people who are life coaches and have products and all kinds of things like that. And so I haven't officially counted them up, but I think I probably have, again, about 25 to 28 invites to be on shows. They're going to be starting as soon as next week, and I'll probably keep you posted about that. So it's sort of like a fun, interesting thing. It was an investment, my time, and I think it was probably a good one. I think it's also a tax write-off on top of it in terms of going into continuing education. So anyway, as always, if you like what I'm doing, please consider liking this page, Devin Galaudet author page. Please always feel free to ask questions. I answer everybody's questions. Make comments. Like me, you can also find me on SoundCloud and iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play and a host of other places, as well as YouTube if you want to see my tired, drooping mug. And we're always going to talk about writing. I think I'm going to get back into more of some of the literary things we've been talking about, as well as we're going to, as we keep moving forward, we're going to talk more and more about promotions and how those things work. So if you're writing your book, you can take the ideas that you like from me and implement them. That's honestly why we're doing this. We talk about writing. If you like a certain sentence structure we talk about, implement it in your writing and try it out for size. If you already have a book and you're looking to move forward, try these things out for size. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. We're going to do this tomorrow. I think we're going to really be shooting for our 1 p.m. Normal time slot. And this, of course, was a special event where these last 3 days was like sort of all over the map. But thank you for joining me, and I'll look forward to seeing you writing daily some more. Thanks for being here.